Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream. This is a Game Dev Q&A AMA. My name's Kevin. We do this twice a week, on schedule twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings right now. And the way this works is like office hours. Come and go, ask questions, and hopefully we can stumble through those together. Why are we stumbling through these things? Because I get to do this every day at work. I work professionally in game dev, but I work primarily on front end character stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I get to do at work, but there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do at work. And this is a chance for me to stumble through and learn a lot of stuff that one is helping me, with work, because I learn how to better work with other disciplines and what they're struggling with and all those kinds of things. But also, we're working on making our own game too, as part of this whole thing. So if there are no questions, I didn't see any in any of the previous chats and stuff like that, then what we do is we're basically just streaming the early days of creating our prototype, online as we stumble through making all this work. So where are we? We're in the process of working on frost grenades. The reason we're working on frost grenades is because it's part of, it is a multifaceted learning experience with the ability system and implementing stuns and how materials are implemented in Lyra, etc. So with that in mind, we got a little bit, we had a little bit of fun, took a little bit of detour from our hyper-focused approach towards getting to the goal of prototype, and spent a whole bunch of time messing around with Niagara to make a differentiated frost grenade effect. That is kind of where we are right now. So we're gonna plug that frost grenade effect into our frost grenade, and then this morning we'll get right back on track with trying to actually make the frost grenade actually work. Hopefully we can get into some materials and some stunning and freezing today. So with that, let's hop in. We'll make sure we switch over. And you can see we have our Niagara system still up. There's a couple things about this that I'm just thinking. What I'm wondering is, by the way, I am hurting this morning because I was up far too late messing around with Niagara particles. What I'm wondering is where the settings are for this window, because I'd love to change this background. I'm sure there's a way to do it. It used to be really easy in Cascade, so I'm not sure where they moved it to. Anyways, we'll have to kind of take a look for that at some point and find it later. But we have this new effect, and if we take this and we drop it in here, you kind of see what it looks like. Cool, right? We did not get nearly to the level that that E-Stamps one was, but it looks different. It's cool. I learned a ton of stuff. We're also we're not making custom elements or anything. We're just kind of using what we can find. The smoke and everything in the real-time VFX one looks awesome, but that's okay. That's good enough. So now when we play, if we throw our grenade, oh, it looks like we left it over there. Oh well. We can also test our grenade itself. Okay, so there's a couple things about that. One, it works, that's cool. But let's see here. The couple problems with it. One is you could see when it's playing, we need to figure out a way to get the center point. If you look at our Niagara system, the center, it looks like a ball with a star in it. But when we look at it in the map, when we drop it in here, you'll notice that it's sideways. That's because this material needs to take a position to determine which way the ice particles are going to go. As an example, when we move this dude, you'll notice that the ice particles change. This is happening because right now it's just using the world origin. So let's see if we can figure out how to get that information. So here's our Niagara system, and we have our ice ball, and our ice ball is using this frost grenade instance. And the frost grenade instance, when we open this up, it's kind of wild. It has a giant hole in it. Oh, that's because, there we go. All right, so world, where is it? We're looking for center point, right? Now, I don't know, there's probably two, actually this is kind of cool for us to figure out. There's probably two ways for us to set the center point. One is if we go to the parent material for this dude. What I've done in here is I've added in a couple things. You can see I have these parameters for whatchamacallit. I have these parameters for these dynamic parameters that I'm using. If I create, can I create another parameter here? Particle. Yeah, I'm limited. It looks like I'm limited to 4. I vaguely remember this. So I can definitely have 2 values in here, because this only takes an array of 4. So if we go back to our Niagara systems, and we look at our core, basically the problem is, here's the problem. For this ice ball, in order to set, here we go, use parameter binding. What does this do? We need to figure out what that does. Particles. None of these have parameter bindings. Let's look this up. We need to know what UE5 Niagara use parameter binding. I'm wondering if this is just going to the ones that are in the material. Yes, here we go. Somebody's asking the same thing. This real-time VFX site is going to be a great resource for learning how to use Niagara, I think. You can create user material interface variable to bind it, and then set it in Blueprint. Okay. and then set it in blueprint. Create a dynamic material instance. Oh, interesting. That actually may be what we need. Because if we do that, then we can set a bunch of properties. Okay, let's try this. This is cool. Okay, let's try this. All right, so where's our parameters? Window parameters. User team color. So let's create, I'm gonna call this this is the ice ball material. So we're gonna call this, we're gonna make new. And what was that called? It was called, you can create a user material interface. Make new. Material interface. And we're gonna call this ice ball. Ice ball map. Okay. I'm excited. I think this could be cool. We look at our ice ball and we find this to here. Wait. Nope, that's not what I want. Interesting. Wait, come back. User parameter binding? Usually it highlights on here where this can go. Huh. Did we not get this as the right material, right type? Material interface. Oh. Yeah. Like it doesn't even show up here. Let's try this. Oh, interesting. I guess there's a weird thing there where if I just deleted it, it worked. Okay, weird. Ice ball map. Okay, and then let's put, actually let's just not do that. And what's gonna happen is we know it's not working, right? We know it's not working because there's no material, so we don't see any of the ice ball itself. We see everything else and we just see a sphere. In the system, can we set this? Nah, we're not gonna worry about it. Okay, so compile and save that. Now we need to find where this thing, oh, we have so many windows open. All right, let's close some of these down. we're gonna come back to all this ability stuff as we start trying to add in some of the stun stuff, but for now, we don't need this stuff open. Pistol, weapon, inventory. Okay, so here's our gameplay effect for the frost grenade. We found one. This is our frost grenade widgets. Here's our frost grenade itself. And here's our gameplay ability for the frost grenade. All right, so we've got, this is where we actually spawn the actor for the frost grenade. It's a throw montage. And then in our frost grenade, we're applying the gameplay effect class defaults. Interesting. Where is this used? Oh, there's a gameplay cue, frost grenade detonate. Where's that? Here we go, frost grenade detonate. On burst. Set Niagara. Here we go. This is it. Cast a Niagara component. Get. But where does it actually spawn? Why do we have two event crowds? Oh, interesting. Okay, so here's what it looks like it's happening. It looks like our Niagara system's spawning somewhere, and then this is just going through and setting our team color. So this is one place we could do it. I still want to find where the actual Niagara system is being spawned. Here we go. This is the Niagara system. So this is getting spawned in our, oh, gameplay notify first. It looks like this might be in code. Let's just double check. It's called game queue notify. Probably under abilities. Nope. This main, where does this live? This lives in, oh, this is a core Unreal Engine. List of effects. Okay, so that's what's happening. All right, we've definitely, I think we figured that out. And these are all the effects it's spawning, and so that's why we're accessing it here. Okay, so here's what we need to do. Before we return, the other thing that we want to do is try to set our material instance. And as we recall, this helpful blueprint is literally just, we're taking and creating a dynamic material instance and setting some parameter values and then setting that thing. So let's just create dynamic material instance, and we're going to use the this frost grenade. And what we're going to do yeah, I'm not worried about any of that. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to set the center point. The center point, that's going to be the trick. Do we have, what do we have here? The target is the frost grenade. So let's get the location. get, ooh. It doesn't have a location? Interesting. Okay, maybe that's not what we want. What the heck is B. Frost Grenade? I thought B. Frost Grenade was, it's an actor. It is an actor. As B. Frost Grenade, get actor. Whoa, that's so weird. I don't know why it didn't do that. Maybe because it was filed. Okay, and we're going to set a vector parameter value, and the name of that. We're gonna need more room here. The name of that is from our Frost Grenade. I believe it's called Center Point. That's our mask. That's our edge noise. Emissive strength. Power. Trans tessellation. Metallic. 0. Distance. Center point with a capital C. That's why I came in here to try to find this, because I had a feeling that there was some spelling font. All right, so we're gonna set that center point to be this value. Okay, and then from the Niagara system, we're going to set Niagara, not Niagara, Niagara variable. Material. Hopefully that's the right one. I'm very excited about this. This also means that if this works, we'll be able to have even more control. Because we've been limited by the number of parameters in the inside a material in the past. These dynamic parameters, you're basically limited to 4. So for some of the larger material things, it'll be cool to have this if this all works. And then the variable name is going to be iceballmat. Copy that. Oh, it's going to be user.iceballmat probably. User.iceballmat. And then let's drop this in. Okay. File and save. Let's see if this works. I don't see a material. So let's baseball. Let's just see if this needs to be filled in too. Oh, look at this. This is called new material instance. Iceball mat. Okay, we need to do this one more test. So let's clear this out again. Let's compile and save this. And let's run this again. Maybe this will work. Yes, look at that. Oh, cool. All right, so what's cool about that? The timing on that effect is not very good now that we actually see it in practice. I think it grows to be too big, and I think the explosion needs to pop a little bit more, but that is outside the scope of what we're doing. So now we have our grenade. What we need to do, there's a couple things about our grenade that we want to make work now that we have it. What we want is, first off, when I'm standing here and the grenade goes off, it knocks me back. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want the knockback to happen till there, right? So in order to do that, let's figure out where all that's happening. Let's see here. So here's our gameplay ability for the frost grenade. And somewhere in here we were putting in some kind of stun. And it may not have even been in here. It may be in the frost grenade. Yeah, here's our push. And here's our time dilation countdown. Okay, so what we need to do, and this is all in our blueprint for the frost grenade, so that's cool. All right, so damage, frost grenade. Okay. There's gonna be, this is where we're getting tricky, and this is why we're doing this exercise. There's a whole timing thing that needs to happen here. What happens is, what is this order of this thing? This is after it detonates. When it detonates, it is executing a gameplay cue on actor, which is grenade, and it's giving it a location. It's hiding the mesh. It's deactivating projectile movement. It's checking for sphere overlap. Only continue detonating checks if there were valid pawns in radius. Okay, and if there weren't, this may need to change. Okay, but let's just go with it. It's gonna find somebody. We're gonna iterate through all the pawns. Set up our ignore actors list. Use the weapon capsule trace to check for valid hit. And we're going to apply the grenade damage. Okay. So. First things first. We don't want to apply this damage right away. Let's just see if we can add in a delay. Alright, and the delay we want to add in is going to be where the explosion happens, which right now is, boom, 4 seconds in. So let's, I don't even know if this is going to be happy with a 4-second delay, and here's why. If we delay 4 seconds here before we do this, is our grenade even still going to be alive, or will it have destroyed itself? That's question number 1. So let's try it. Okay, our grenade's definitely still alive. But I didn't get the pushback. But I haven't taken the pushback out yet. So this may be exactly what I was talking about. Frost damage. How much is frost damage? think we reduced it. Let's go back up to 100. So that's 1 bit. Then we're gonna cast a character. We're gonna do a direct hit. We're gonna normalize, do all of our time dilation. I don't think we're getting to this, and here's why. I believe we're coming in here, we're doing a line trace, la-di-da-di-dot, delay. Okay? During that delay of 4 seconds, we're going to loop through the other actors. And when we're done, we're gonna wait until the trail completes before destroying. And so we're checking to see if the NS trail is still thing. That's the wrong thing to delay on. So we need to make sure that So we're binding destroy grenade to system finish for, yeah, that's not the system we want to finish. Okay, the system that we want to finish is our NS trail, which is here. That's not gonna work. The system that we want to actually wait to see it finished is actually the Niagara system, but it's not even the Niagara system, because what we actually want is we want this to be oh wow, we're going to have to rethink this whole thing. We're going to loop through all these actors. How do we know? Alright, first let's test our theory. We're not going to destroy this actor. Okay? Of course. Oh, it hit it. Okay, well, it worked on him, so we know it worked. But the problem is we're not destroying these actors, so it's gonna blow up. And then we get hit. Okay? So that definitely worked. This is our problem. And what we need to do is we just need to somehow figure out a way to change our end condition. Now, this for loop let's do this. There's a way we can do this. What we could do is we could put our delay in before we do our iteration. Like if we put the delay right here. Okay, and we make this 4 seconds. What's going to happen now boom. Cool. So that totally works. Alright. Interestingly enough, it looks like our actor didn't get destroyed. Which is weird, because I feel like we hit that. Maybe that was just... It's not hitting that destroy actor. Why isn't it hitting that? if our NS tail doesn't end. It's a Niagara particle. Find references. Here's a grenade trail. You know what? This is just the wrong way to do this now. Because it should have nothing to do with the trail. And we're not going to destroy here anymore either. I think we want to detonate no matter what. We want to come through here. Interesting. I think we want to skip this. And the reason being is no matter what, I want the grenade to run through. I'm going to want this thing to run through its full effect. So this is a copy of a grenade, so we can just clean this up. Okay, so we're just going to detonate every time. Alright, we don't need this. And when this is completed, we're not going to check for the trail because I don't understand that. The trail should not determine the end of this. We're just going to destroy the actor. We're not going to bind our event. And we're going to take this out of here. And let's just blow that thing up. Alright, so now, compile and save. I had a nightmare that I forgot to click the button again. Hold on 1 second. Is there anybody in the chat? It says we're streaming. But are all of our destinations on? Hold on, y'all. Just a quick detour while I double check this real quick. So I don't have to... So I can figure out if I have to restart again. Alright, I clicked the button. Yay! Okay, sweet. So back to what we were doing. We're in here. We're gonna blow up the grenade. Let's make sure the grenade disappears this time. We should hide it though. There we go. Destroy the actor. Where's it? Perfect. And our actor's gone. That's what we want. You're like, what's it doing? Huh? Okay, cool. So let's do this. That is working now. There's a couple things we want to do. One is when we first detonate, I want to hide the actor. Hide. I believe that's what the setting we want. I don't know why this keeps reordering this. I like my maps to be the first one. There we go. It's hidden now. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. So we got that. Got our hit. We've got our stun being delayed, which is cool. Now what we need to do is a few other things. So 4 seconds in, we're gonna start to do our actual damage. Now, during the time before that though, we need to be increasing interesting. Okay, hold on a second. 4 seconds in, we're going to iterate through all the pawns, and we're going to apply damage, basically. It's going to line trace by channel, it's going to apply the effect damage, and it's going to put an impulse push. It's also going to do time dilation with countdown. I don't think we want to do this anymore, because what we want to do is we actually want to unfreeze them after they've frozen. So that's going to be the thing that we're going to do there. Yeah, we're going to leave that space there. We're going to need it. And I think I'm going to move all this down, because I believe we're going to need some room here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, all of this, move it down. Reason being is we need to make room to start building our slow effect. Yeah, nobody likes that. Okay, so we're roughly going to do the exact same kind of thing that we're doing here, but what we want to do is we're going to, let's copy this. But we're not going to have a delay on this one. I'm going to iterate through all these pawns. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I think what we want to do is do we have a tick? Does this thing have a tick? Begin play, detonate, hit, teleport. Event crash. Add an event. We do have a tick. Here's what I'm thinking. The reason we might want to use tick. Okay, here's the problem. Let me see if I can explain this. If we come through here and we grab all the pawns and we set their frozen amount one time, they're going to be either all frozen or a little frozen. And what we want to actually do is we want to set their frozen amount over time, not just all at once. And so there's a couple different ways we can do that. We can either spawn a ticking event, right? We can either set up a timer by event type thing, which will, basically look for the actors, or we could, in the grenade's tick, look to see if there are actors in a radius and do that way. Let's do this. Let's create a timer. Set timer by event. Set timer by function name. Looping. I'm gonna do 0.1. And we're gonna want to end this after our 4-second delay. I think this will work. So we're not going to iterate through these pawns. What we're going to do is from here we're going to come down. All right. And once we finish our 4-second delay, we're going to end this. There should be a cancel timer. Cancel. There's a way to end this. We just need to find it real quick. Stop. Timer. Pause. Clear and invalidate timer handle. Is that what we want to do? Clear. Sure. We'll try this. And this is gonna have to be, eventually we're going to need to do all of this with, not like, we may want to make a grenade that doesn't have a 4-second wind up. So what's gonna happen is, once we get this built and working, we're gonna take a step back, take a look at it, and figure out how to variabilize all this so that we can specify in the grenade attributes how long these things last. Alright, so the event, we're gonna create an event here. Okay. Actually, let's just make one ourselves. Let's add an event, and it's going to be apply cold. And this is the event that yikes. This is the event we're going to be applying, and what we're going to do is exactly what we said before. We're going to iterate through all the pawns. And the pawns is going to get a sphere overlapping actor from the actor location of self. Get actor location. Okay. This is where it is. And we'll move this over here. We may even want to move this. This seems like it's going to be a very useful functions, which is going to be, like, I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to apply a gameplay effect over time, basically. We're going to have to think about that. As our understanding increases, we can make and changes and improve all of that stuff. So, but right now we're just working with what we understand. So our apply cold is going to happen every single 0.1 seconds. It's looping. It's going to come through. It's going to grab all our actors. It's going to iterate through all of the actors in the radius. And then what we're going to do with that, what is our ignore actors? Oh, interesting. That's an interesting way to do that. Okay, we can do that. We can basically just use the same logic. I didn't realize that I didn't realize that the trace, oh, it's because they're using a line trace. And they're using a line trace because they're applying a different amount based on distance. Oh wow, I feel like that's a lot. When we could just do a sphere overlap actors. And the sphere radius can be the radius as well. We'll just see if this works. And then object types is the same. Oh wait, we're already doing that. We don't need to do that again. That's exactly what we're doing already. Okay, so here overlap the actors, and then for every single one, we want to apply the frozen. So that's where we get into the time dilation stuff. We're gonna cast a default. Cast that to default, and then we're going to time dilation. Dilation is how it's spelled. Event blend out time dilation with countdown. Interesting. Time dilation with countdown takes the controller, puts in time dilation, which is not, this is not really what we want. We need some kind of stacking, like we don't even have this mechanic yet. The blend out time dilation will work because what it's gonna do is it's gonna get custom time dilation to blend it out. That's great. And what this is going to do I think we can just set it. I don't think we need to do this. Let's just do get time. Get the custom time dilation. Okay. And then let's set the custom time dilation to be this plus let's try 0.1. Okay. So this is going to basically increment our time dilation as long as we're inside of our oh, my brain is fried. As long as we're inside the radius of our frozen zone, it's going to increase our time dilation. The thing is though, I don't really remember what this is. Is this a variable we made up? Interesting. Like, where is that even used? Alright, well let's just try it. If this works, we should start getting really frozen while we're standing there. It's working. It's totally working. That's awesome. I'm so fast. Okay, so it turns out that we don't want to add. We want to subtract. That was awesome. That's cool to know though. That's really cool to know. Alright, so let's take the custom time dilation and let's, we'll add a -0.1 to it. And then we want to set a floor on this because I don't think we want to go below 0. Can we clamp this? Clamp. Min is 0, max is 1. There we go. And I feel like that was pretty fast. So let's go back again. Oh, I get frozen. Okay, but I never unfreeze. Okay, but it worked. It worked. Now I think, here's the thing. There's two ways to control this. So right now we're doing this on every 0.1 seconds. And we're setting the amount. Well, hold on a second. We need to do some math here. Where is everybody this morning? What is today? Today's Wednesday. Alright. Okay, so we have... what's our custom math here? Alright, we want our character to go from 1 to 0 effectively in 4 seconds. So if we are repeating, hold on, we're doing this every 0.1 seconds. So every 0.1 seconds. So that means we're getting 10 increments per second. And we have 40 increments total. So 1 divided by 40 is 0.025. So basically what we want to do is we can change this to 0.025, and then what will happen is if we are inside of the frozen zone for 4 seconds, we will reach fully frozen. So let's see. Oh, and I got pushed back. That's awesome. Look at that reaction. Okay, so I think that worked, but I feel like that's too slow. So I think we should double it. If you're in that frozen zone for more than 2 seconds, you're going to be frozen. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's go 3-5. See if this feels better. I can almost get out. I didn't get out. Okay, that's perfect. I think that feels pretty good. All right, so a couple things need to happen. We need to... Wow, this is interesting. Future us is gonna have to build a stun or time dilation manager. But basically, when we come back in here, for all of the actors that are in the radius, we do also, not only do we want to apply the damage, but we want to set, right before we do this impulse, we want to set our time dilation. Back to 1. And this is one of those things where I think we're going to need a manager for this, but we'll build that. We'll build that as we get into it. So now what should happen is, if I stay in here, I'm gonna get frozen. And then after it blows up, I get knocked back and I'm back to normal. So that totally works. Okay, cool. We're making progress. We're gonna have a frost grenade. Still messing with the timing of this. All right, so now that we have the grenade exploding, freezing us, and doing damage, and then pushing us in the end, all based on our timing, which is what we want, the last piece that we need to do is we need to connect up. Is it the last piece? The last piece we need to do is connect up our material. And we'll have to do a little bit of work for damage. It's cool. It's totally working. It's great. I think there's a couple things we need to do. Oh, I got smoked. The cool thing will be, if the grenade is enough to kill us, when we go from being frozen, we will go to that death sequence. So that's gonna be, you know, working with just what we have, it's gonna be fun. It'll be cool. Let's see here. Alright, I think the other thing we're gonna need. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's a couple problems. There's two things. What we need, alright, a couple things. So first off, we're going through all our actors and we're setting their custom time dilation. The problem is, we need to keep track. Because what if you run in and then you run out of the frozen zone? You saw what just happened. You get your time dilation and you start getting frozen, but then when you're outside of it, there's nothing to let you know that you're no longer in there to set your time dilation back. So either in here, we need to keep track of a list of actors that were added to so that we can go through and in the end unfreeze them, or we should just have a regular ticking down of thaw, if you will, like a thawing effect. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. I'm trying to think of I think we just make a list of frozen actors. And what we do with those frozen actors is when this grenade blows up, everybody gets unfrozen. Right? Okay, so let's take some notes here. In our notes, team dilation, okay, we got that. Time dilation problem with AI. I don't know what that means. Color team, okay, so we've done all these. All right. So we need to fix actors who enter Frozone and leave. Why is that not typing? Huh. My keyboard stopped working. Delete works, but the letters do not. Can we do anything else? Keys work. Wild. It depends, Nodar. A lot of it depends on. So Nodar is asking how much time roughly does it take to develop an easy 2D game. So we used to do Thunderdomes, they were called, which is basically just a game, a fast track game thing. And one of the games we made, let me see if I can find it real quick. Ziggs Arcade Zig's Arcade Blast. Alright, so one of the games that we made, this was at work, we did a Thunderdome. Okay? This is kind of like a 2D side scroller thing. I'm not sure if you can still download it or not, but we did that in 48 hours. Okay, so if you do the math on that, and I think there were like maybe 30 of us on it. So if you take 48 hours times 30 people, that's 1,400 hours. Divide that by 24, that's 2 months straight, right? So 1,440 hours, let's say you're working 8 hours a day, 180 days, half a year. Now, the trick is, those 30 people are so good at what they do, right? I mean, with the effects artists and everybody who is helping on that, like, just, they're so good at what they do. So the trick is that if you as a single dev had all of their combined experience in a single person, you know, you could get it done in maybe 180 days, depending on the math and complexity and stuff like that. But we've done multiple Thunderdomes like that, where in 48 hours, you know, we've built a game. We did a twin stick shooter. We did the arcade blast, different things. So, you know, it depends, right? There's a lot of like different variables and stuff that goes into it, but I remember walking out of one of those Thunderdomes thinking, wow, that was pretty cool. We made and shipped a game, 2 players to play in less than 2 days, basically. And so I did this exact same exercise. I did the math and I was like, man, if I'm slow, and that's just because I do not have all of their skills in one, that means like shipping my own game, it's doable. I could do it. Because, you know, half a year working 8 hours a day, okay, it's cool. Like all of a sudden, me shipping a game by myself became possible. Now, I am also a crazy optimist, and so I don't, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work. There's a reason why, you know, games like Diablo and all those other ones take like 8 years. So don't misunderstand. It's a lot of work no matter what we do. So for some reason, I cannot type in here anymore. I can press return. Typing does not work. So let's get out of Notepad. We're trying to wrap up what we need to work on for next time. So 1 works in here. Okay, we need to fix characters, enter and leave the throw zone. I think we need to visually communicate radius of the throw zone. What was the other problem we were seeing in here? Oh yeah, we need to do, I didn't get out. Okay, so that's totally working. We also need to actually connect our material. All right, we need to connect up frozen mat, and then other things to consider. Time dilation manager. This is going to be dilation manager. This is going to be future us. We also need to look at much like we have health attributes and damage executions, do we want a stun / frozen execution? That's a really big question, because that could be part of the time dilation manager. We'll have to think about that. So that's that. It's 9:15. We should totally wrap this up, but I can't do it. I want to try to see if we can take a sneak peek into what we'll be working on next time, which is trying to get this frozen material onto our character as we're freezing. So to do that, let's trace something that we know does this. So if we run up to this character and we shoot him, it's hard to see on the blue, but if you look at his leg, mostly because of the lighting, you can see there's these little things that are showing up on the material for his body, and they're fading out, right? So what we want to do is we want to figure out how that's working. So let's do a search for Quinn. All right, and we want the skeletal mesh. All right, and then the material that we're using this is on the body. Okay, so this is the Quinn blue material. And what in the heck am I looking at? Oh, I see. All right, the parent material is M Quinn blue, so let's go to that. All right, that's fine. And the parent material, this is Manny blue, right? And the parent of this is interesting. There's a physics material on here and a material for the parent, which is M mannequin. Okay, now base material gets a lot of stuff. Carbon fiber tint, team color, base texture, it's AO, masks. This might be harder to track down than we thought. Carbon fiber tint. Clear coat, diffraction, edge glow, chromatic curves. There's some mask textures in here. There's edge glow. Spawn age, kill propagation, kill power. Uses the logo, normal. Carbon fiber and ISO. General. Okay, I'm wondering if this carbon fiber is the stuff that we're seeing. Carbon fiber tint. Let's see here. Carbon fiber max and men's. But where's the mask? Okay, new plan, because this is not finding it. So let's go find our weapon fire. Weapon fire. And let's take a look at our gameplay ability for weapon fire for, sure, we can do the beam cannon. Alright, here's shotgun. Let's just look at shotgun for a second. So then if we look at our gameplay ability for weapon fire. Alright. Event on ranged weapon target data ready. Okay. This activates stability. Start ranged weapon targeting. Target data is ready. It does the game queue notify. It loops through. It applies a game effect. Gameplay, impact, here we go. Game queue impact. Create a physics field at the impact point if desired. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that. Game cue impact is rifle impact. Search for references. Here we go. This has got to be it. Oh, bummer. This looks like just a normal game cue notify burst. That's not gonna control. Weapons. Beam cannon. Figure the set the sound parameters. Whiz by. That's the burst. There's nothing in. Send weapon fire. Fire. Trigger the audio. Early reflection. Decal materials. That's interesting. We are on a scavenger hunt. Oh, we don't want the reload. Not the one I meant. Okay, this is gonna call the parent function. All right. Fire complete. This is in code. All right, so then there's the target data ready. And the game queue notify with parameters that we're using. Is firing. Then we get our hit result. And then this is our impact. It has to be in here. I don't know where else it would be. Interesting. I would say we are not any closer. Chromatic curves. Edge glow. Hit position. Nothing's changing. None of these are changing. Kill propagation. What does this kill edge use? Well, gotta be in here. Alright, logo, diffraction, base, AO, spec, roughness, clear coat, SFX. What do we think SFX are? I mean, usually that's sound effect. Interesting. Clear coat, roughness, NISO, second normal. I see nothing in here that would possibly control our damage. So I want to look at what this physics material is. I don't think I've ever even actually opened one of these. That's not it. Damage? Well, let's look up impact. Impact. Alright, so these are all sounds. What is it? Oh, this is meta sound sources. This is not what I want. It was green, so I thought it was a material. Impact decals. Oh, are you kidding me? Is this a... Impact details. Dad decals. Wait a minute. Are these being used? Weapon decal. What is this? What is this? Fire. This is an actor. It takes impact decals, default surfaces, impact surfaces, positions and normals, and number of hits. Oh. And the decals that it's using are what? Concrete. I mean, it looks kind of like that, I think. Of course, we can't see it here. But if we look at this, texture sample that's being used, we'll get here eventually. I think that might be it. I think that might be what's being applied. Holy cow. How is this thing being applied? Reference viewer. the stuff that it uses to create it. Correlations, etc. And this is all being used by this thing. So if we recenter this, weapon decals is used by weapon. And if we edit this guy, it must be being spawned in here somewhere. Weapon fire. Let's look for decal. Spawn B weapon decals. Spawn and activate the weapon decal system. And when is this happening? This is happening on fire. And what we're doing is, do we have weapon decals? We're making sure we're spawning it. The skeletal mesh that's being attached is the weapon. Impact position, impact normals, surface types. We're gonna fire with the decals. And if the decal's valid, we're gonna spawn the system at the location. And are we attaching it? Number of hits. Okay, this is not the way I was expecting this to work. Let's see here. Put that print in there. I don't know. See, that's reducing over time. All right. Well, trying to find in or dig into that a little bit was not the most successful scavenger hunt, but we are going to continue that next time. So I think that wraps up today. Not factoring in our scavenger hunt at the end for how they're doing the material stuff, which is part of what we're trying to find. Overall, we did all right today. You know, we got our freezing stuff working. We got our frost grenade effects input, everything like that, which is cool. Everybody who hopped in, Nodar, thanks for the questions. Thanks for hopping in. Once again, we do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. There's going to be a lot more impromptu ones going forward, I think, because as you can imagine, there's a lot of work to get done in order to make this game. And there's just going to be, some of it will be like the night before last where I was falling asleep while I was working on this stuff. Possibly not the most exciting, but that is okay. We were still having a lot of fun with Niagara effects. So everybody hopped in again. Thanks for joining. If you have questions that you want us to look into or things you want us to help figure out, just let us know. Throw those questions in the comments or pop into the next session and ask those live. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and we will catch you in the next stream. Later.